Morning. Come on in. Come on in. Let me know if you can hear me okay before we get started in today's broadcast. Come on in, tag and share. Sharing is caring. I truly, truly appreciate that. Come on in. Come on in. Once I know that we're not having any technical difficulties, I canceled the show yesterday because I was having some audio difficulties. Once I'm clear that we're not having any difficulties, we'll get started. Hopefully that won't be long. So within the next 30 seconds or so, we'll be getting started. Okay, thank you, Manuel. Good morning to you. Good morning. Thank you so much. Good morning and welcome to the Money Matters Morning Show. I am Nefateria Robinson, and I'm a coach and author of this wonderful book called How to Act. Activate your faith, commit to your plan, and take action that will change your life. You can get your copy at bit.ly/how2ACT. And I am a coach, and I help people that are having credit challenges increase their credit score and also give them a solid foundation when it comes to their personal finances. And today the title is called Ouch That Hurt, because we're going to talk about 15 things that can hurt your credit score. But before we get into that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm going to reintroduce myself to some and introduce myself for the first time to others. So one of the very first scriptures I learned was, "Owe no man nothing but to love him. For he that hath loved hath fulfilled the law." So one of the first scriptures my mama taught me, it has stayed with me all my life. I remember always just saying, "Oh no man nothing, oh no man nothing, oh no man nothing." And then in the 4th grade, I had an opportunity to learn check writing skills as well as learn how to balance a checkbook. Our teacher gave us an assignment to bring in gently used toys, and she was basically going to auction the toys off, but we had to pay for them via check. And because we was paying for them via check, it taught me then, I did it on 2 items, and when I went to balance my checkbook, I realized I didn't have enough money. So it taught me a vital lesson of counting the cost, knowing the difference between a need and a want. Sometimes you have to make those tough decisions and decide, if it's a need or if it's a want, or pick between 2 things that you want to make the best choice for whatever it is in your finances. Also, at the age of 25, I purchased my first house with no money down and no down payment, but I was only able to do that with hard work and making sure that I was, like these 15 tips I'm going to talk about, make sure I wasn't doing those type of things, make sure I'm doing everything that I needed to do to keep my credit score where it needs to be, or get it where it needs to be able to get in that house with no money down and no cosigner, keep my debt to income ratio down, make sure I was paying all my bills on time, and things of that nature. So let's get into today's topic. Ouch that hurt. I'm going to refer back to my notes because I don't want to forget anything that I wanted to tell you and share with you guys today. So let's get started. So like you all know, credit is one of the most important things for your financial life. Point blank, period. Whether you're trying to get a bank loan or a credit card, they're going to pull your credit. Some service providers check your credit to see if you require a security deposit. Even your car insurance and stuff like that, they check your credit to see, what rate that they should give you for your insurance and things of that nature. So it's very important that you build a strong, solid credit foundation and make sure that you're doing very well when it comes to ensuring that your credit score is in good standing. So one thing that can hurt your credit score is if you pay your bills late. 35% of the score, good morning, Lisa, 35% of the score is impacted by late payments. So make sure that you're paying your bills on time, you're not paying them late. Something that you can do is set up automatic payments for your bills to ensure that you don't pay anything late. Number 2, not paying at all. Appreciate the heart, love. Thank you so much. Not paying at all. If you don't pay your bills at all, is even worse than paying them late. Ignoring them is not helping you any. It's getting you one step closer to where they might charge off the account, and that is not what you want for yourself. So number 2 was not paying them at all. Number 3, having an account charged off. We talked about that just a little bit with number 2. But what happens is if you ignore it long enough, the company says, you know what, they're not trying to pay this. I'm just going to go ahead and charge it off. And that's not something you want. It impacts your credit score. You don't want that to happen to your credit score. Number 4, have an account sent to collections. Same process. Basically, if you start paying late and you eventually stop paying, the creditor is like, you know what, we're going to just charge this off because this person is not paying. Then they send it to collections. And when they send it to collections, generally a third party will get that account that you owe and stuff like that. And they're trying to get it rectified for the original creditor that you had. Okay, and number 5, defaulting on a loan. So basically, similar to the charge-off, just basically means that you didn't fulfill your loan commitment. So you had a loan for $1,000, a personal loan, and you did not pay on time like you were supposed to. And so that is something as well that can impact your credit score. Number 6, filing a bankruptcy. That can devastate your credit. Consider alternatives. Consider credit counseling. Consider getting with someone like me that's a personal credit concierge that helps you work with you one-on-one, give you individualized attention when it comes to increasing your credit score. If you're interested in that service, you can go to bit.ly/book-with-Nef for your free credit consultation. Also, if you have a foreclosure, number 7 is if you have a foreclosure, that also can impact your credit. Basically, mean you got behind on your mortgage payment and they end up having to foreclose it because you were not paying your mortgage. Number 8, getting a judgment. So you didn't just avoid the bills; they had to the court had to get involved, and that's how a judgment comes about. Good morning, Sheba. How are you? That's how a judgment comes about. Basically, means you weren't paying what you were supposed to be paying, then they had to get the court involved to get you to pay your bill. Number 9, having high credit card balances. That's one of the second most important part of your credit is the level of credit, and depending on, like you hear all the time people say debt to income ratio, debt to income ratio. So if you having high balances, that increases your credit utilization, which decreases your score. So that means if you're spending like if you have a credit limit of $5,000 and you have it maxed out, or you have it at $3,000 or $4,000, and that means you're utilizing a lot of credit that you have. Good morning, Kimberly. How are you? That you're using, and that can impact your credit score as well. Number 10, if you just talked about that a little bit. If you max out your credit cards, so you should max out your credit cards. It's not very ideal for your credit score if you're maxing them out. You should keep it at a minimum. Try to only put things on credit cards that you can pay off within that grace period. Number 11, closing your credit cards that you still have balances on. Even though you feel like if I close it, it doesn't impact me, but it still does impact because it's still going to go against that whole debt to income ratio thing. So you need to make sure that you're not closing them before you actually paid them off. Also, cards with available credit, if you close them, that can affect your credit history. So if you've had a card for a long time, it's better for you to keep it open than to close it, because then it's going to shorten your credit history. Number 13, and I kind of went into this a little bit just a second ago about closing old credit cards, and 15% of your credit score deals with the length of your credit. So the longer you've had a card, if one of the first cards I got was a BP gas station card because the BP was near my house, and a JCPenney department store card because there was a JCPenney's near my house. So, and I've just kept them ever since I got my first credit card. So that history impacts your score by 15%. So the longer you have a card, the better it is for your credit score. Also, 14 is applying for several credit card loans at one time. That's like 10% of your score. So also, just because you do have a good credit score does not mean every time you go to one of these department stores and they're like, oh, sign up for our credit card, you get 20% off, or sign up for our credit card, you get this free bag, does not mean that you need to be applying for every department store on your, your shopping spree or whatever, because that impacts your credit, and you could be turned down because you've applied for a lot of credit in a small amount of time. And number 15, having only credit cards or only loans. You need a mix of your credit. You need that accounts for like 10% of your score. So you need to have a mix, not just credit cards, just not loans. You need to have some other things also on your credit. And that was number 15. So I'm going to quickly recap all 15 things that could possibly hurt your score. So number 1, if you pay late. Number 2, if you're not paying at all. Number 3, if you have an account that's charged off. Number 4, if you have an account that's sent to collection. Number 5, if you're defaulting on a loan. Number 6, if you file bankruptcy. 7, if you have a home foreclosed. Number 8, if you're getting a judgment. Number 9, if you have high credit card balances. Number 10, if you're maxing out your credit cards. Number 11, if you're closing credit cards that still have balances on them. Oh, that's number 11, excuse me. Number 12 is closing cards with available credit. Number 13 is closing old credit cards. Number 14 is applying for several credit card loans at the same time. And number 15 is only having credit cards or loan and not having a good mixture of your credit. You can catch me here on the Money Matters Morning Show every weekday morning. And if you have any topics or any questions or things you would like to discuss, feel free to direct message me, and I will make it part of one of the topics in the Morning Matters Morning Show. Thank you. Please tag, please share. Thank you for joining me. I do appreciate your time today. And have a wonderful day. Bye.